Levels of progression. So I think this might be helpful to kind of understand the progression of training and how to use your structure. When we first start out, which is Ichisa, right? One of the most important things that we're developing is building structure and how to apply that structure in Wing Chun, right? And there's actually multiple levels of that. At the big, just do those yourself. At the basic level, I have no structure and I'm just relying completely on technique. Just do whatever. Right? No structure. You do what you have to do. Uproot me to whatever. I'll just respond with different levels. So initially, it's all technique. I rely on hand speed, and I shift, and right. Sometimes it works. If I'm faster than you, it works. Great. Right. And I can do very fast. Right. And so that's one level. Rely primarily on kind of speed, technique, combinations. And all that, and that's great. It's great for fast people, it's great for young people, it's great for people with reach, right? But one of the things we do, and we emphasize pretty much from day one, is emphasize the structure. And so what we can talk about is the application of structure. So level, I guess, 1 is basically no structure. Level 2 is basically through the course of Sulian Power, you start understanding how to connect your bodies. So when I apply pressure to you, you know how to sink that to the floor, right? Or when you apply pressure to me, I know how to sink it down to the floor, right? So let's do the Chisa again. And so this level 2, where just do whatever, right? And I'm just gonna engage you with my horse as much as I can, right? Right? And you engage me with your horse, or however you want, right? And now we feel kind of an engagement, and we're using our horses, right? Kind of a step beyond that is to use my structure now to push you. Go ahead, just do it. Right? And the feeling that you have is basically a wall is coming toward you. There's no real direction. It feels kind of just like a wall that's kind of just pressing you, right? And once you're comfortable enough with your structure, you can use it defensively. You can use it offensively, and you start pushing people and using your right. So the next level beyond that is a bit of a refinement. I don't actually have to have the whole wall push against you. I can actually be efficient with it. So rather than push you uniformly, like wherever I feel pressure, just go to Chisa. This is just to respond with pressure with my structure, right? And you feel like I'm really strong, I have the structure. And anywhere you touch me, you feel kind of this pressure going back. But that's actually a lot of wasted energy. It's actually not efficient. And if you know how to borrow me, I'll actually be in trouble, right? Right. So the next level beyond that is to be more, I guess, concise or more efficient with your pressure. So rather than just push you back uniformly, now I'm just trying to engage where it makes sense to you, and not engage where it doesn't make sense to you. Right? Right. But if it doesn't work, then I won't go. But now I'm a little bit more judicious about how I use my structure against you. And from that point on, it's basically a continuous refinement. From the wall to the direction, you can actually reduce that smaller and smaller and smaller to get to basically a point. And so what Ken likes to say in the Langxiong lineage, talk about Zi a lot, right? Zi means point. And the idea behind that is that now I don't rely on the pressure of the structure. I refine the direction such that it's narrowed to the point of a needle or a dagger, right? And if I do that correctly, what you should feel is not so much engagement here or engagement here, but you feel as if I'm holding a dagger to your chest. And wherever you go, like however you change, step, whatever, I'm pointing at your chest, right? So intent-wise, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Webb. So what you feel isn't necessarily that I'm bowling you over, and now I'm not just biting or even putting pressure. It could be that I'm not giving you any pressure, but you feel the dagger is there. You feel like you're crowded and you don't have space and you're jammed. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. And then the final kind of level, actually I don't know about final, the next level of progression is basically that dagger becomes so small that that it's no longer there. It's gonna sound a little bit esoteric. But what it starts feeling like at that point is that I don't have a dagger. What I have instead is kind of an emptiness here. You know how those like diagrams of black holes on a 2D surface where there's a well, a flat surface, there's a well, everything sinks down? That's kind of the emptiness I'm talking about. So again. So you don't feel so much a needle pointing at you anymore, but you do feel vulnerable here. It feels like, okay, if I take the wrong step, I'm going to fall in the well, right? Right? Feels very uncertain here. Don't know what to do with yourself. Right? So that's kind of the level of progression as you progress. You start out with no structure. You start out with having your horse. You train your horse, and you rely on that. And most people, when they get to this point, they maybe over rely on it. So you use your horse for everything. But if you use the horse for everything, then what you don't develop is kind of the sensitivity to be able to find the connection to the other person. Right? You don't want to just use your horse. You want to be efficient about it. So rather than just pushing me blindly or hard, what you want to feel for instead is kind of the center of gravity here, and kind of push at the right spot evenly. Right. And over time you get good at that, and it gets finer and finer and finer. You acquire less and less and less energy. If I do it wrong, resist me. If I do it wrong, I have to use a lot of power to compensate. Right? If I do it right, or more right, it doesn't actually take that much to disturb you. Right? You feel uncomfortable already. But if my direction was wobbly, right? Yeah, then we're fighting my structure against your structure. And if you train, great. And then it's basically your horse against mine. But with better refinement, with better precision, I don't need that. Just a little bit of adjustment, and you feel right. And then the final, again, is I don't even have to do that anymore. I present you with this emptiness state, and you feel, oh shit, I'm uncomfortable. What do I do? Make sense?